Hi, in this video I'll explain the concept of magnetic force between two parallel wires having an electric current flowing through them. In this animation you can see the direction of current shown by the pink arrows. There are two parallel wires in red color. One of the wires on the farther side is called the wire 1. The magnetic field around it will be in concentric circles shown in yellow color. The second wire 2, which is closer to us, also has a magnetic field, and that I have shown it in white color. So the magnetic field of the wire 1 impacts the wire 2 and goes through the wire 2, and similarly the magnetic field of the second wire goes through the first wire. And the green arrows that are rotating show the direction vectors for the magnetic field around that circle. Now let's look at a still image of that. You can see the right hand thumb rule being applied to both the wires. The thumb is pointing in the direction of the pink arrow, which is the direction of the current. The fingers are curled around the red wires, so that shows the direction of the magnetic field vectors at any point around that circle. The green arrows show that the magnetic field of the wire 1 is passing through the wire 2, and that creates a situation where you have current flowing forward, magnetic field going downwards, and therefore the right hand rule becomes applied, where you will have a third output called the force, and that's how the force arises. This is called the cross product between the current and the magnetic field. These are the two inputs. The output is the force. So there is a force on the second wire due to the current flowing through the wire 1. Similarly, there is a force on wire 1 due to the current flowing in the wire 2. We now study the textbook representation. You have the wire 1 on the left hand side, the wire 2 on the right hand side. We have taken top view actually of the physical arrangement in the previous animation. You can see the current directions that are mentioned, and the wires are separated by distance d. With this, the magnitude of the magnetic field vector which goes through any point P will be B is equal to mu 0 by 2 pi into I by d. At the point P, you can see that the direction of the magnetic field is shown as cross, that means going into the plane of the paper. Similarly, if you take a point P on the wire 1, which is not shown here, the magnetic field will show a dot in the center, that means it's coming out of the plane of the paper. Now we can very clearly see that the direction of the current is 90 degrees to the direction of the magnetic field, which is going into the plane of the paper. Because of these two vectors, magnetic field vector and the current vector, it is a situation which causes a third vector to arise, that is the force, and the force will therefore act perpendicular to both the current and the magnetic field. Let us study that in the subsequent slides. In this slide, we can see the direction of the middle finger, which is pointing into the plane of the paper, let's say, and call that the magnetic field direction. The blue arrow, which is in the direction of the forefinger, let's call it the current direction. These are the two inputs, and the output is the force, which is the direction in which the thumb is pointing, and that's how the force comes out due to the two inputs. If you apply this to the sketch that we had in the previous slide, you can find out the direction of the force. Now we have developed our sketch further. You can see the blue arrow called the attractive force has come into picture, which is towards the left hand side for the wire 2, and for the wire 1 it is towards the right hand side. You can yourself apply the right hand rule for the wire 1 and you will see that the thumb is pointing from left to right. So now let's get into the equations. Let's take an infinitesimal length of wire dl on the wire 2. This length of wire gets subject to the magnetic field coming from the wire 1. But the length dl does not get any magnetic field from the wire 2 itself, above the wire and below the length dl. The only magnetic field passing through dl is the one from the wire 1. So this dl will have many points P on it. The magnetic force of attraction which is arising in the wire 2 is given by df, actually we can also call it df2, is equal to the vector I2, that is the current passing through wire 2, into the length dl, into, which is a cross product, into the magnetic field B, which is passing through the wire 2. Now, what is the magnetic field passing through wire 2? That is due to wire 1. So that's mu0 by 2 pi into I1 by d. So if we substitute for B, we will get the magnitude of df as I2 into dl into mu0 by 2 pi into I1 by d. That is, df will be equal to dl into mu0 by 2 pi into I1 I2 by d. Now if you do df by dl, which is the force per unit length of the wire 2, you will get, as written here, mu0 by 2 pi into I1 into I2 by d. So this is another way of representing the magnetic force, this magnetic force per unit length. But we can also just stay with df itself. Now just a note that if the currents are in opposite directions, then the force between the two wires will be repulsive. Here when we say df, we are only speaking about the magnitude of the force. To get the force over a given length of wire, we have to integrate the df. So integration of df will be basically integration of 0 to L dl, which is the infinitesimal length into many such dl's, into mu0 by 2 pi into I1 I2 by d. The thing within brackets, that's not variable with the length. So integration of 0 to L dl will become L, and therefore the magnitude of f will be L into mu0 by 2 pi into I1 I2 by d. This magnitude f acts equally on both the wires. What's significant is, suppose we have one wire carrying 10 amperes and the other wire is carrying 20 amperes, then the force between the wires will not be different, because the force equation has both I1 and I2 in it. So it will become 10 amperes into 20 amperes. So therefore the force between the two wires will be the same, even if both the wires carry a different amount of current. But the wires have to be parallel, and this equation is applicable only for an infinitely long wire. The direction of the force, as already described, will be perpendicular to the wires. I hope this video was useful to you to get the basics of magnetic field through current carrying wires. Feel free to subscribe to this video and share it with lots of people. Do feel free to log into our websites. Login is free of cost. The course has got a subscription to it. Thank you and have a great day.